T-Man 978 Show Review. Hello everyone, T-Man 978 reviewing Transformers Armada Ultra Class Megatron. Megatron has a lot to cover, so let me try to get this show on the road. And off the top, you see these excellent wheels that sound like a big, powerful tank when he rolls by, because he does have some weight to him. But anyway, let's get this comparison out of the way. Here's Armada Combiner Wars Megatron. And as you can see, like I keep mentioning, Leader class ain't what it used to be, because they are freaking... He's bigger in this mode right here. He's taller in his robot mode, but as you'll see later, but this guy definitely feels like nothing compared to this one. And even though it has 4 Minicon ports, they had to put that there to make this Armada. It unlocks not one thing. But anyway, the best way Armada can be summed up in just one sentence. Armada was transforming toys. They left transforming action figures out of the equation, and they're just basically transforming toys. When I get it to robot mode, it can be up to you to decide whether this is an action figure or just a transforming toy. Let me try to take over or go over some of the gimmicks. One, when you turn this turret around, and I had to buy batteries for this thing because it's over 10 years old. You get that nice voice clip. It's about this point that happens. And the turret does rotate all the way around. The cannon can go up and down. These claws on the front can grab right there. But you have to do it with your fingers, which isn't too fun. Or not. It doesn't. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you have to use your fingers. Some features you need the Minicon for. And this is Leader-1, which was the good GoBot. The GoBot leader's name. So I don't know why they named. I guess he's the leader of the Minicons, or maybe the bad Minicons. I can't remember how the comic went, but if you put him here on this slide, you unlock that. And let's say you want these missiles to stay out. You slide them over. Now the missiles can stay out. And they fire rather well onto the floor. I'm going to leave the missiles out. But put it back down. You can actually just push this button for the light and sound right there. Take the Minicon off right here. And you might want to slide it all the way forward so that that'll lock into place. It doesn't lock all the way, but it does do somewhat of a click. Put the Minicon here, and this disc rotates right there. And here's what you get. And now this missile. If you pull this back right here, you get the missile fires out, and it makes that explosion sound. The missiles that were here and the one in the cannon, they look identical. But the only change is the actual base. This fires with like a friction launcher, whereas this, well, it is technically spring-loaded, but this is the more traditional spring-loaded down here. So they're not interchangeable, unfortunately. Since Megatron is power-hungry, he has a ton of Minicon ports because he wants the most power out of everybody. If you click this button right here, or pull this switch back, it unlocks even more Minicon ports right there. So let's go through it. You get one Minicon there. Flip this out. You get another Minicon port. So it's one on the top and the bottom. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 back here. He's fully armed up and dangerous with Minicons. You probably wouldn't be able to get close to him, but unfortunately he doesn't have any like turret mobility without knocking these guys off. I guess he can shoot up in the sky, but let's see. No, these two back here are really hindering things. So if he decides to turn, he'll just knock him off. But Megatron doesn't care. He probably knock him off and then run him over. If you have Minicons like this guy right here, you can go ahead and add extra Minicons. So now he has 13 of them. Once I get this guy on here. But yeah, you could have even more. None of these others have any Minicon ports like that, but I bet if you had another one that did have it, that's an option right there. Before I forget, here's Leader-1. He's a little droney tank thing. His arms are a little loose due to age. But here he is. He has 2 cannons right there and a little cab that no one can fit in because he's a Minicon. To transform him, basically bring the legs down like this, flip these cannons back up, and boom, he's transformed. You could move the hands forward like this, because this is the only articulation he has in his arms right there. The legs, they do move independently of each other. They can kick forward that much. If you move this cannon out of the way, he does have a working knee joint, which is very cool for a figure this small. So these things are very reminiscent of Micromasters, but they have one thing that I wish the Micromasters have: independent legs. If they had legs like these when I was little, oh my god, that would have been so much fun. But anyway, here's a close-up on his details. You can see that Minicon symbol right there. His head, the only thing they painted was the visor. It doesn't rotate or anything, but here, there's that right there. Other play features back here. This folds out. A little ramp comes out. And I guess you can deploy Minicons off of him like he's a base, or while he's riding, chasing an Autobot Minicon. Any Minicon you see with an Autobot symbol or Decepticon symbol were released during the Classics line, I believe. But you can put this up here, slide this out, and now he has a little capture claw, so he can capture that Minicon and make him a Decepticon Minicon. Then over here, I guess this is the same feature, but it does have these little grindy bits in there. Maybe any Minicons he finds that he doesn't like, you can go ahead. The other Minicons can put them in there to be grinded up and compacted and shot out, which would be a horrible, horrible death right there. And if you want to, you can lift up these panels that would reveal robot parts in it, but you can lift these up and they could act as a platform or whatnot, but it's all up to you. So like I said, this thing is definitely a toy. I guess you're supposed to pinch back here to make that do that. But transformation, it's pretty freaking simple. Go ahead and push this heel spur back, flip the feet up like that, unhinge these down, go ahead and open these panels, take the hands, which are sometimes a little bit difficult to grab at, bring that down, shut that door. Same thing over here. This one's a little bit easier because he has a grabbable thumb up there. Bring that down, shut that, pull this down, revealing the face. Go ahead, stretch this up. Rotate his legs around. And now, if you want to make sure this turret isn't all wibbly wobbly going ever once, rotate it till it gets about here and pull the chest down to cover that. Now typically you might want to have the turret down like that, but basically he's transformed. If you want, you could turn the turret and bring it forward like that. Give him a G1 Megatron toy feel right there. But here's Armada Megatron in his robot mode. And while I don't feel like he's an action figure so much, his articulation is severely, severely lacking. Let's zoom in on this face. This evil purple face with that permanent frown right there. His head is huge, and then he has these big giant antlers. Articulation in the arm is not too bad. The whole shoulder rotates right there. If this turret wasn't in the way, it would go all the way around, but he has some nice, super tight ratchets right there. The shoulders go out that much. He bends 90 degrees, bumping right into that. This nicely molded Decepticon symbol. One problem Armada had, they had these nice molded on symbols, but they didn't paint them, so it made it have a cheaper feel to it. He rotates at the elbow, rotates at the wrist over here, but because he doesn't have bicep swivel, you can't get too much of a dynamic pose. Over here, it's the same deal, but he has an open claw hand. And the reason why he has that is because they want you to use his Minicon. Put this here, slide that forward, revealing a secret dagger right there. That would suck to have a Minicon just to do that. To give him a slightly G1 feel, if you take Leader-1 and pull these guns down like this, you can go ahead and attach him to the forearm. And now he has a forearm blaster. The hips go out to the side like this. And the only knee that he has is this bend right there. His toes can go down like that, but that don't help anything. And his hips do not rotate forward. So that's what kills this toy for me. If they were to re-release this with some longer, make him have longer biceps and some bicep swivel, and if they gave him longer thighs and gave him actual 2-point joints at the hip where he can kick forward, and give him, of course, knees, and make this be able to pivot right there, he would be an awesome, awesome figure. Well, let's see. Of course, all the Minicons can still attach at their Minicon points, so he can be a powered up robot. But one final feature that I think that he has is you can rotate this around, and now he can have like a shield on his chest where he can still fire and hit things. I believe he mostly used this when he combined with Tidal Wave, but there's that. So he's a cool figure, and I absolutely love the play gimmicks. Armada, they weren't fun to pose, but they were definitely fun because of their gimmicks and their lights and sounds on the Voyager class. Sorry, that was me dropping a Minicon. And the Ultra class and the Leader class figures, but he's cool. So if you have an Armada collection, I would definitely suggest this guy. But if you want an action figure, meh, he kind of sucks. Before I go completely, here he is next to this guy who has somewhat better articulation, but he still isn't the best figure. From the legs down, his legs are a little bit stiff, but he does have the articulation that this guy is lacking. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching. T-Man978 out of here. You're still here. Good. So now you get to see him all armed up with Minicons all crazy. I don't know how practical this would be in battle, since they'd be all over the place and in a way, but Megatron is nuts. Alright, bye.